Alright, everyone, welcome back to Automotive Anatomy, to another wash and talk. So yeah, I ended up buying a little pressure washer. Still messing with it. I need to get the right soap. Um, I ended up washing all three cars with it. Actually, my wife's daily is the first one that I wash, and I was getting frustrated because I didn't know how to work it. I know that for other people, this is second nature, but whenever you get something new, gotta play with it a little bit, and so. I gotta get better soap, and once I do that, I think I'm gonna be a little bit happier with the foaming aspect of it. But yeah. Anyways, just want to say what's up. Appreciate you guys the love and always tuning in to these watching talks. To me, honestly, they're very enjoyable. It just gives me a time to just kind of chill, relax, reflect, share my thoughts on different stuff that's going on, and you know Um, it's almost like another way of having a little chat with you guys. But want to give you guys a quick little update on what's been going on. I mean, I've definitely been enjoying Rosie as she sits. She's starting to make a little bit of noises. I think suspension is starting to say, hey, you lower it, but then didn't improve anything else. So maybe that would be in the near future where I can start seeing what I need to replace, which is a lot of suspension pieces. Jackie, she's running great. No issues there. I think Fortunato sent out the coilovers last week, so hopefully we can get those soon. And um, the struts, I should say, the struts and the springs, and so hopefully I can go ahead and replace those, so I can have it sit a little bit lower. And then the wife's daily was the wife's daily. It needs a nice cut and buff. But today I really wanted to discuss the fear of missing out. Um, I think a lot of us have been there, especially in the card community. You you know there's so many things that are going on in the world that are opportunities, and opportunities to spend time with family, opportunities to make more money, opportunities to you know buy different things, or whatever the case may be. But one of the stuff that I kept seeing from a lot of the people that we follow and that I talk to is this whole cryptocurrency and like the Dogecoin or Dogecoin, however you want to call it. And everybody's hyped up about, you know, is it gonna make it a dollar? Is it not? It will make it into a dollar. The more you advertise something, it's gonna make it. At one point it was 20 cents, and so people are seeing big returns. Real returns, real money, based on a meme cryptocurrency that now people are kind of going and spending their money on. And I had the conversation with my wife, and I said, no, I really don't feel like I'm missing out, because there's always, no disrespect to anybody else. I don't like, for instance, that one, at least that one, the Dogecoin. I don't really see it as investing, as more as gambling. Now I could be wrong, but to me, it's just not one of the things that I'm like super missing out on. That I'm like, oh man. I think part of it is because I don't make much money, and uh, that means that I can't afford to make decisions or put my money onto things that I don't quite fully understand. And what keeps me grounded is that I don't make much money, but what I do make, I make sure that that my wife and I, we manage it properly. So I'm definitely not in any position where I'm hurting or anything in that nature. Thank God. And we know that the world, life gives you circles, and one day you're feeling like, oh, everything's great, and the next day it's like, oh shoot, what happened? Especially with your health. So in the future, would I get myself into Dogecoin or other cryptocurrencies? Probably. I mean, again, I need to do more research, and I've been having a little. Actually, my buddy Frank, the one that I play basketball with, he was telling me a little bit about it, and that's great. Like, I'm in a rush to be like, oh man, like, people are making money and this and that, and I think for me, um, the what keeps me grounded in that sense is that people are making money, but it's almost like social media, like when TikTok was starting, and now that I'm into TikTok because I have an account, but I don't really upload on that, and that was just to create some videos for um, some project that we were doing. Um, but I don't use it. I don't use it, and I know that you can get a lot of views through there and things of that nature. Um, Honestly, it took me like 10 minutes to see what the whole app was all about. I'm like, that's a little too overwhelming for me. I just stick with Instagram and YouTube. That's pretty much it. And some people want to continue making videos through TikTok because it gets views, through YouTube because it gets views, Instagram because it gets likes, or whatever the case may be. It's like the constant fear of, man, I want to be experiencing what other people are experiencing. Um, you hear people you know investing, quote unquote, into all these cryptocurrencies, and some people are making real money, but some people are also losing a lot of real money. um, One of the podcasts that I follow by Minority Mindset, he mentioned that there was a gentleman that I think he had invested quite a bit of money, and one day, again, they're so um, they go up and down very very easily, especially those cryptocurrencies. That one morning the kid woke up with minus 200 something thousand dollars, and he ended up killing himself. And it was like, dude, like the pressure got to him. And I think that's the way um, it goes with anything else. A lot of people want to be famous. I don't. I've never really liked that whole being famous type of thing, um, because I think it messes with your head. Once you open up, it allows more people to come in and just leave comments. And I believe that a lot of young people are into this whole TikTok thing, and they're getting a lot of views, and 15, 13, 12, 11, 16, 17, 19 year olds that have over 10 million viewers or whatever on their TikToks and stuff. But I don't think emotionally or mentally they're prepared for what's the publicity. And I think that's what keeps me grounded, like I mentioned. The fear of missing out, it goes above and beyond videos and social media or money. There's always money to be made, like I said. Um, why in a way, waste, why am I wasting my time washing my car, recording it, um, and then doing like a podcast type of voiceover when I could be working and making money? it, what's the point? In my personal humble opinion, what's the point of making way more money um, if you're not enjoying life or you're not doing things that make you happy? Now, to some people that are like, well, I love working, that's what makes me happy. Then great, that's awesome. I hope you're enjoying, time with family or whatever is important to you, because you know we're not gonna be here one day. That's just the reality. And all I keep hearing from older people is like, you know what? Spend more time with family. Like I made good money. I worked my ass off, and at the end of the day, it's just like, for what? And again, that's just my personal opinion. Don't take it so personal. If you work 80 hours a week and you do it because you enjoy it, I was there, but I did it because I needed to pay school. But I used to tell myself I don't want to do this the rest of my life. Now, I guess to some people you could say, well, you're working right now by doing these voiceovers, by interviewing people, editing. Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, if tomorrow I decide to not do any more videos, I'm fine with it. Um, then that's that. But I think in this whole process, I've been able to have patience with so many different aspects in my life. I did a drive and talk about patience, um, and I am practicing that. One other discussion that I had with my wife just recently was on on Saturday. This past Saturday there was the Canelo boxing fight, and we always go walk at this place. It's about a mile and a half from where we live, obviously from this apartment, and it's a nice little community with some trails. And we kept discussing house prices, how we thought that the house prices were gonna go down this year, but obviously they have not. They actually increased by like 13%. That's incredibly um, such a huge jump. I mean, 13% is pretty bad. Obviously, if you're selling, you love it because then you have a lot of people that are bidding and selling. But for the people that don't have a house, that don't make that much money, um, you know, The people that I guess were not smart to invest into cryptocurrencies. Now they're making the money. Now they're buying the houses. So uh, ultimately, we talked about patience. We talked about um, what that's gonna look like. What is our number one concern? What is our number one priority? Where do we choose to spend our time and money? I mean, the getting the loan is the easy part. That's not what we're worried about. Anybody can get a loan nowadays, especially. The down payment, we don't worry about that. All that's been in check. But what is the ultimate goal that we want, and how do we want to live? And it's so easy to go get a house that I personally think is gonna be overpriced. Um, just to say you have a house. But then how many hours of work do you have to do and time to pay off the house? Is the ironic part. You go get a brand new car to for work, and now you gotta go to work to pay off the brand new car. It's a little cycle. And so, even though it does get to me on a personal level, where like, man, I wish I had my garage. I wish I had, you know, uh, a better washing place. There's so many neighbors that come out, and I have my little GoPro set up there while I'm washing my car. And at first it was weird, but now I think it's normal. Nobody has really asked me what I'm doing, but still, yeah, obviously I would want my own privacy. I would want my own place. I look at somebody like Obsessed Garage, old setup where he would wash the cars, and it was so beautiful. But again, going back to the whole being patient with things in my life. In the grand scheme of things, that's just a big material thing that really I don't really need at the moment. Um, and even when my family continues to grow, like we can still do without it. It's just again being patient, not letting those Instagram you know pictures of the people that you follow. Oh, we just bought a new house, or we're remodeling, or we're doing X, Y, or Z. To each its own. To each its own. If you're out there in the market, you're gonna buy a house now, and you feel like whatever you know, you're gonna pay for a house is worth it, and that's fine. I mean, that's not to say that you're wrong or that I'm right. Like, or to say that you're right, I'm wrong. I mean, ultimately, you can do whatever you want with your money. I guess this is the way I've been kind of leaning towards. I've always had the idea that like, you know, delay gratification is worth it, because in the process you're able to focus on other things that matter the most. To be honest with you, you know, uh, could I be watching an M3 right now? I could have, and that's it. Like nobody would care. But I'm able to go to sleep knowing that I don't have a car payment, and I'm extremely happy in this car. So to me, I'm not. I don't. I guess that's my mentality, and I think that's where it becomes easier. Having the mentality, because if I was in this car and my mentality was like, I hate being in this car, I'm embarrassed being in this car, I want to be in an M3, I want to be in a Porsche, I want to be in whatever the case may be. I think that's when it really starts eating you up. You start thinking, you start noticing those things. It's almost like notice things that are red, you're gonna start seeing all these things that are red. So whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find. And so it's almost like your phone listens to you. So you talk about certain things, and all of a sudden it's gonna keep popping up, and all these material things will start popping up. But for me, I think it's been more of a journey of like, well, what can I do with my time, um, that doesn't require money? What can I do with what I do have, and how much do I appreciate it? And so, like for instance, this car, Rosie, she needs paint, she needs quite a bit of little things, but for the most part, I'm really happy with it. I'm like, I don't have an issue. Um, if tomorrow I change my mind, then okay, she gets sold, and I go get a car, and then that's up to me to decide how much something's gonna be worth. Time away from my family. Again, not just because of work, but for other reasons, to maintain a material thing. So I don't know where you guys at when it comes to the whole fear of missing out. At this very moment, I think the only thing that it does get to me sometimes, having my own space, but not to the point where like um, I'm unhappy where I live. I really dislike where I live. No, I think that that's me working on patience. A lot of things require patience. Um, if not all of them, you know, losing weight, working, getting a good position that you like, uh, finding the right partner, whatever the case may be. Everything requires time and patience and due diligence. And so for me, I'm just enjoying what I have um, to the fullest. Again, not to say that if you are into fancy things and material things that you're a bad person. No, by any means. But I think that I can honestly say that I'm very stress free. I don't have any stress. I drop my towel there. Good thing it's on a car that doesn't have that much good paint, so off we go again. Um, but I don't have stress. I really don't. For me, I like to focus on the little things. Um, I see a lot of people that have all these different luxuries, and it's never enough. That to me is the sad part. Like, it's never enough. Like, oh, I'm gonna be happy until I have this. No, you're not. Like, that's just the way our brain has been wired, and social media doesn't help. And the more you look at, your social media feed, it's still gonna tell you on the things that you need to buy for you to feel complete and for you to be happy. And the reality is that the things that you buy are not gonna make you happy. It's you who's gonna make yourself feel happy. It's you who's really gonna, have a conversation with yourself, because ultimately you go buy a car, you take a picture, sure, you get a whole bunch of little congratulations, a couple of likes, and then after that, that's it. After the first month, you're stuck with the payment, you know. And and again, that's just my personal view. I've been there. I've had payments. Um, my priorities change, and that's okay. That's just what it is. And I think part of it was that I was part of that, fear of missing out, or that idea that oh, okay, I had finished school, had paid off all my loans, now I deserved it. Well, that's what I thought, but I ended up going with some nice trim restorer, and it made a big difference, especially in the front lip, as you guys will see. But yeah, for me, it just it's really being intentional with the things that I focus on. There's a lot of things that require money. That's not, you know, a shocker. But how are you spending your money? How are you spending your time and your attention? Um, from my end, I love having conversations with people, and really that just takes what, $8? Coffee for both of us. That's about it. And then your time, which is the most valuable thing in the world. Um, it doesn't require that much money, and the joy that you get out of it, it's immense. But then again, that's just my view on certain things. There might be somebody else who's like, I don't want to talk to somebody. I'd rather, you know, uh, go on a trip, or I'd rather just spend my money on clothes or whatever the case. And there's nothing wrong with either one. I just think that at the end of the day, which one really makes you happier? And I've just seen so many people, including myself, be at the point where like, well, if I just get this, I'm gonna be happy. And the reality is not. That's not the case, because mentally you haven't really prepared yourself for that moment, and that moment comes, and you're like, well, I guess I now what? What more? And I just can tell the lip definitely gets a nice little shine. Um, and again, I haven't bought a front lip for this car because I really don't care what people think. It's an eBay lip. Okay, move on. I haven't had an issue with anybody, and if anybody says, "Oh, that's a whack ass lip," thanks. Like, I don't, doesn't matter. Like, I'm at the point where I don't really mind. I actually like the lip, but again, going back to the whole mentality, like, you have to train yourself. You have to talk to yourself. What are you feeding yourself? Some of the recommendations you guys mentioned in the live session about books and things. I do look at them up. I look them up and I listen to audiobooks. So I definitely, I try to practice what I tell you guys, not just to sound philosophical and then, go and buy a whole bunch of material things and not show it. Like, no, that's not my thing. Um, I'll listen to audiobooks, uh, to continue with the mentality. Again, It's something that you have to work on. The patience. It doesn't come easy by any means, but I think it's extremely worth it. And once you have that, whatever phase in life that you're in, I think things get a little bit easier. You have more patience. So if you're like me, who is waiting for to buy a house, okay, whatever, you'll buy it when you buy it. If you already bought a house, I hope you're enjoying it. It's your own space. Well deserved. You deserve it. I hope you're not buying more material things, and now it's eating up your bills or your money coming in, and you don't spend as much time with family. Whatever the case may be, for me, ultimately is spending time with myself, spending time with my family, and just focusing on the little things that matter the most. Because ultimately, a brand new car, it's nice to look at, but if you in a mental state are not happy, nothing's gonna make you happy. And so that was a little fear of missing out, kind of little chat that I wanted to have. I'm so happy with this car. You guys have no idea, and I do share that on the Drive and Talk um, daily driver, and so hopefully you guys can check it out. But as always, appreciate you guys so much. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one. Man, if only the paint looked like that all the time, except when it's wet. I might think about vinyl wrapping it. What color should I do it? Let me know. Give me suggestions. Vinyl wrap. Give me suggestions on the comment section. Peace out.
Alrighty, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Watch and Talk. I really actually legitimately enjoy these conversations. Share in the comment section any topics you guys kind of want me to go into. I don't know, anything. And hopefully in the future Watch and Talks I can have a little chat about them. But for now, thank you. Appreciate the patience and stay positive. Peace out.